Today we are going to present you with the recruitment strategies for the University of Rugby.
First of all, we are going to talk about the target market of a lecturer. We are looking for a lecturer or researcher in organizational behavior who had experience in another university, or a published author in the subject, or an industry specialist. Why? In order to satisfy the university and the students learning there, the potential applicant must have the necessary skills to teach, prepare, and provide lecture and tutorial managers at high quality level. The target market is not restricted to the countrywide market, but the potential candidate will be required to have perfect English language skills. We are now going to talk about the target market for IT help desk analysts. We are there looking for people which are looking for a job in this domain. Graduates from this field or candidates with relevant experience. IT-driven people or system analysts. Why? The potential candidate needs to be able to relay technical information to non-technical people. She, therefore needs to have excellent problem-solving skills, as well as being accustomed to communicating with people across all levels. The target market will be mostly local.
For personal specification for lecturer, the employee is required to have the previous teaching experience at the university level. They also have to meet the IICSB criteria for being viewed as academically qualified and have the PhD in the subject area and maintain the subject advertised through the publications. They also have to commit to delivering great quality services to students. For IT helpdesk analyst job, according to the every article, there is an increasing number nowadays looking for the people with the right skills and competencies rather than their qualifications. And they are required to be the well presented, well mannered, and articulate helpdesk support professional with the extensive experience of performing diagnostics and resolving the customer's technical problems via telephone, emails, and one-to-one. By the way, they are required to have the ability to using the wide range of software and technology, including the knowledge about the all operating systems and Microsoft applications. They are required to provide technical assistance to anyone using IT service. I also provide explain technical information to non-technical people. And also they have to have the ability to act as the first point of contact for any IT problems, including technologies, information and media department by emails, telephone and social media. And also they have to be driven by customer service and will have the excellent problem solving skills with a positive attitude. They have to have the demonstrate the proficiency in English and also understand diffusing the difficult situation. The full personal specification will be in the appendix, and I have classified it into minimum and desirable criteria. There are three recruitment strategies that university can use. The first one is a right person approach, which select the most suitable, or in other words, the best qualified candidate for the job. The second one is culture fit model, which requires the university to change the job characteristics to fit the abilities of the candidate employed. Personality is more important than technical skills in this context. The third one is flexible person approach, which the university will offer training to employees to perform more effectively. They should prepare for future change and be able to contribute rather than to conform. It is a long-term strategy not simply meeting current needs or filling the organization with a compliant clone. We recommend the university to practice this approach for recruiting the lecturer because it is a long-term investment and the employee is offered with a permanent contract. However, training costs and allocation of resources will increase. For recruiting the IT help desk analyst, we recommend to take either the right person approach or culture fit model. But bear in mind that it is likely to have the issue of cloning if practicing the right person approach, which will eliminate the opportunity for creating the diversity. But bear in mind that it is the totality of effectiveness of the individual that matters rather than specific skills and abilities. Most jobs require an individual to work within a team, where required skills or qualities can be spread between its members. In such a case, it may not be necessary for every member to possess all qualities needed for effective performance. We recommend the university to use two sources of recruitment. The first one is internal sources, which include transfers from other departments and promotions from within the university. The other one is external sources, which include advertisement, which will elaborate on how, when, and where to advertise later on. We also include recommendations from existing employees, and the university should consider employing former employees and the members of relevant labor union who will have the right qualifications and appropriate competencies. We recommend the following 5 methods for recruitment selection. The first one will be formal or informal interviews. The second one will be work samples. When candidates are asked what they would do in a particular situation, it is only natural for candidates to give the answer which they feel the interviewer wants to hear. There is no guarantee that a candidate will actually behave in that way in a real situation. In addition, it is common for candidates to exaggerate their abilities or experience and play down their inadequacies. Therefore, work samples can overcome the issue of unverifiable claims by giving mini jobs to test candidates' abilities, such as decision making and presentation skills. Biodata would entail interviewers collecting narrative personal histories and scoring the information against a previously determined scale. The logic is that if candidates are matched with existing staff, people with similar interests can be found who are likely to be suitable for the job. The greatest value of this technique is its ability to reduce staff turnover. However, it could be argued that this technique is not designed to promote diversity within the organization. Also, there is the issue of dishonesty. Applicants may produce fake answers to appear to be a favorable candidates. Also, matching previous successful post holders is low risk and conservative, but this backward-looking approach is unlikely to meet the future needs of the organization. Another selection method is through assessment centers. Every assessment method has its limitation and no individual assessor is infallible. It provides multiple assessing methods and several assessors in structured programs to test the candidates. It also attempts to get a more objective view of the candidates and minimize the inadequacies of each method and cancel out the prejudices of individual selectors. It is an expensive procedure to set up, and it requires a lot of professional assessors together with many resources, so it might be cheaper to outsource this selection method to a third party. This method is more appropriate to right person approach and flexibility approach because it helps identify to candidate with the right competencies and potential which are appropriate for the job.
Another assessment test is the psychometric test. It measures psychological characteristics, including personality, such as the Big Five personality traits, the motivation, the competencies, and intellectual abilities. The results are numerical. It leads to a direct comparison and is easy and therefore do not require a specialist. It is also called scientific, as it is based with a grounding in theory, thus reliable and discriminate between good, average, and mediocre candidates clearly. We are now going to talk about the external environment. Therefore, about the employment and unemployment rate in the region and in the industry, the competition from surrounding universities, the relevant regulations, and the availability of applicants. In this graph, we can see that since the creation of the university in 2010, the curve of unemployment in the country decreases continually. It is a good indicator that the economy is slowly going better.
The following figure shows the regional economic environment. In Rugby, there is over 80% of the population employed. It is nearly 10% more compared to the UK overall performance. The unemployment rate in Rugby is lower than the national average. These statistics might suggest that the availability of applicants is apparently higher in the area outside of Rugby, and may be more difficult to find appropriate candidate in Rugby. Thus, our target market, in terms of geographic area, should be outside of Rugby. The university need to take relevant regulations into considerations too. If they employ candidates from outside the European Economic Area and Switzerland, they will need to help the candidate to apply the Tier 2 visa in order for them to work in the UK. The university also need to comply with the national minimum wage to offer the appropriate salary for the employees. Working time regulations grants a mandatory right to paid annual leave of at least a minimum of 28 days. However, we realize for the job of IT help desk analyst, the employee will only be offered a 20 days off, so the offer will need to be revised. Also, the university have to deal with the information they have collected from the candidates appropriately in compliance with the Data Protection Act. Also, under the Equality Act, the employees under the fixed term and permanent contract should be treated equally with the same employment rights.
We are focusing on two types of advertisement, which is online website and local newspapers. We are suggesting the university to focus on using online website for the lecturer of organizational behavior and local newspapers for the IT help desk analysis, because the qualification for lecturer of organizational behavior is relatively higher compared to the IT help desk analysis. For online websites, we have chosen to use the university home website, Times Higher Education, LinkedIn, Jobs. With the information provided by the website Jobs, we can work out the duration, the start date for which job, and the price for the advertisement. The university should start the advertisement for lecturer of organizational behavior in November with a 2-month duration for the price of £399. For local news, we have chosen to use Rugby Advertisers and Rugby Observer. Rugby Observer will be the main focus for IT help desk analysis advertisement. Advertisement on Rugby Observer will start from November with a duration of 6 weeks and a total price of £180. And Rugby Advertiser is an extra option we added in for the advertisement of both IT help desk analysis and lecturer of organizational behavior, as we only have a short period of time to advertise both jobs. Advertisement on Rugby Advertisers will start in December with a 14 days duration for IT help desk analysis and 28 days for lecturer, and a total price of £450. Advertisement on the left is an example of online advertisement, and on the right is an example of local newspaper advertisement. We have tried to include as much useful content as we could to increase the awareness and information provided for the applicants, and increase the desire for them to actually apply. The reason why we have chosen University Home webpage because it is cost effective, as it is set up internally by the university. It provides information and image of the university for the applicants, as the job offer for lecturer for organizational behavior is a long-term full-time contract. It can provide the applicants with a better view and information about their future workplace. It is easy to monitor because it is set up by the university, so they have full access for the information of numbers of visitors on their homepage websites. They can provide an online portal for IT applicants, which allow them to apply straight on the website. One of the downside is the human resources or knowledge of the university. Depending on the capability of its IT department within the university, it might or might not have enough resources or knowledge to set up and manage the website for a career session. The reason why we have chosen Times Higher Education, Jobs, LinkedIn as follow. Large geographic coverage may increase the application pool. Specialist help, which means the university has no need to manage the advertisement. Different choices of packages allow university to have most suitable advertisements. It is easy to access by the applicants. The advertisement on the website both contained good information and beautiful designs, which may increase the awareness for the advertisement and desire for applicants to apply. Some of the main downsides are the cost and the effectiveness. As universities don't manage the website, they can only hope for the best and wait for the reply of applicants. We have chosen Rugby Observer because it has a relatively low cost. It is flexible because the schedule are weekly, which allows the university to have more flexibility for the advertisement. It is quick and easy to set up. It may not be as effective as other methods because it may be harder to target the targeted audience. Information provided by the advertisement are limited, which means the contact details are important and human resource department must be ready to be inquired by potential applicants.
The following points should be concerned regarding to the recruitment effectiveness. The university should identify as many organizational attractiveness as possible. For the realistic job reviews, it is a recruitment tool used in early stages of personnel selection to communicate the information of both positive and negative aspects of the job to the candidates, such as what benefits they will be offered and what potential consequences they will get when they do the job. It is important to let candidates to understand this aspect so that they will be prepared to face challenges coming up and hopefully reduce the chance of turnover. Also, the recruiter's behaviors will have an impact on the effectiveness. For example, the interviewer panel usually made up of different members from different departments, and they represent various intra-organizational power networks with different and often conflicting interests. In order to strengthen their power base, these interviewers will prefer candidates who display similarities with themselves. So during this interviewing process, it is likely to have an unfairness element, which can affect the recruitment effectiveness, often results in superior candidates not being chosen for the job. So it is important to make sure to include properly trained interviewers.